Alright, hello. It is now time for a video with Umber Rays, brought to you by Umber Rays and Raid Shadow Ledge. I'm pretending I just don't want to do it. Anyway, hi guys. We are going to be taking a look at JP's week this week, which is, much to mostly no surprise, a fairly quiet week, which, yeah, whatever. I'm sure there's something people could be doing. But anyway, let's start with a new wave battle. Now, the next wave battle is going to be, by the looks of it, featuring Odin. So I'm curious about how difficult this will be, but this time weapons are spears and axe, which overall I have to say, so the spear I believe is dragon speared, and we're looking also at the rune axe. And I don't know, these are two of the weapons that I'm probably the least excited about right now, because axes are still kind of waiting for another unit, and I know there are a few axe units out there who would love a really good upgraded weapon. Irma fans? Potentially some of the most recent Thunder character to come out on Global. I'm sure you guys would be tremendously happy if this is an overpowered weapon. And as for the Dragon's Beard, I mean, it would be so cool on Kane or Glassy or a ton of other characters. Without seeing any details on what these weapons are like, I'm going to go ahead and guess that the axe will probably has a higher chance of being overtuned, but since neither of these weapon types right now, axe or spear, are oppressive, I'm kind of hoping that both of them are going to be very strong. It's not being negative. I really have high hopes that these are going to be quite powerful and be really good gets for people who like the, axe wielders and spears. Why not? Give them a little bit something more, since axe characters are few and far between. And again, spears, it would be nice to have every damage type represented really well. I feel like fists are in a good spot. Swords and magic have been essentially good for a while now. And guns, they have their moments for sure. But spears, let's give spears a little bit more potential and a little bit of a step up. Cool. Next up is this, which is the next of the metal accessories, and this time it's Hate a Bird month. So yeah, this is basically like fighting bird type enemies. So we can see Phoenix, Glacial, and Bird. I know it's as a type, but it's funny just to call it Bird. Fun fact, if you didn't know, in Final Fantasy IX, anything that doesn't touch the ground is considered to be a bird, which is interesting because, yeah, some bosses in that game just don't touch the ground. So technically most of them end up being classified as birds, which, again, really funny. But yeah, so this would be great in FF9, but as for this game, sure, it's another accessory to get and upgrade. Speaking of birds, that seems to be a theme this week. Bird Medallion, Bird VC, Bird gear that could skewer birds. Our last one to talk about today is a 60 cost job VC that works for great swords, katanas, daggers, and books. An interesting combination across everything. There's so many of these job VCs that always have like a sword VC on them, just a regular sword, because there's so many sword types. Looking at it, level maxing it will give HP up for the entire party, defense up for just the regular party ability, as well as weakness resistance, which is good, as I'll talk about in a second, and critical evasion and attack up for the bestowed effect. Now, before we even talk about the art, because gotta pad this out at least a little bit, Elsie is prominently featured on here. This is the Bronwell card because it is a great sword card, and if you think about it, just Bronwell plus Sephiroth plus Bold Blade Leela, this is essentially a pretty good Dark VC card, just on its own, for like a defensive one. If you were trying to make a more physically defensive team to go up against some kind of physical challenge, this is pretty cool. I like this. I like seeing something a little bit different, like just weakness resistance. I like HP cards, even though they're not always the most impactful, but it's cool to have an extra source of it. And yeah, there's good synergy here. You look at this, and it seems reasonable as well for you know, a mixed team, even where you have physical and magical. There might be even other properties, like if Laswell fans out there wanted to combine with Velis, this is potentially a little bit of interesting incentive there, I guess. Great Swords, Velric users. There's different properties against different elements for who this could be useful for. But Dark is, you know, the very clear standout just because Bronwell recently came out. And this card supports her really, really well. She is a pretty strong defensive character who is capable of keeping her defenses up against multiple types of enemies. And this reassures her more to being strong against just physical attackers. If I can, I'd love to just bring up the unit again to quickly talk about her. No, I don't have a copy of her. I'm not that lucky, and I didn't try very hard. So yeah, taking a look at her, I mean, she has an incredibly high defense, and in combination with this new VC and potentially protecting her against that, she is going to be an effective costed character. And that's sort of, I think, all that really needs to be said about it. The last thing to talk about is I just want to touch on the art here, because it's Elsirelle and also Elsie, and it looks like they're about to have like some kind of match. Like it's a grudge match between these two and something. You guys can make up whatever story you want. I'm going to say it's bowling. Because, you know, a Chocobo has like the claws, so a Chocobo could throw a bowling ball. And I just thinking about Elsie, I for some reason I could see her being a bowler. I don't know. You guys throw your physical activity of choice that these ones might be going up. But the other thing, just taking a look, it just looks like Elsie's regular outfit. It's not any indication, like she's only missing her jacket, and so I wouldn't expect her to be seen a 100 cost character. And that brings us to the last little reminder that the summer unit should be already decided. I don't know if we're getting 2 this year or 1, but the one that I am for sure that we are getting, because it was a vote on JP, is the Glassy. Glassy is getting potentially her 4th version, unless they changed course for whatever reason. That should be who it is going to be. So yeah, that is the news, such as it is on JP. There is one more wild theory about just a Chocobo with scars that I would want to throw out there, but I'm just going to keep it to myself and vaguely allude that it might be related to something in a Final Fantasy, which maybe is hinting towards a collaboration. Maybe not. I guess I'm just tantalizing, but I don't really want to mention it, at least for now. I'm just going to keep an eye on it. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. And of course, we will see how good the VC and all of this stuff is when it comes out, but a pretty quiet week, and to be honest, I'm pretty happy to have just a week where I can basically push Wotv on the back burner. So thanks so much for watching, take care, and see you next time. Bye bye.